We've come to an underground car park just outside Tel Aviv to meet someone who's going to show us how easy it is to launch a cyber attack on almost any modern car.
Just like any connected computer, everything that you connect to the internet is vulnerable at the end. So this is true the same way to cars.
Ziv is using a wireless adapter that enables internet access to hack into the car's Wi-Fi, which is now standard on new vehicles.
What's weird about this little experiment we're doing is that I've got no idea what it is that he's going to be trying us.
So we're gonna start small, playing a bit with our windows.
So he's putting the windows up and down.
Let's play a bit with our blinkers.
So the left indicator's coming on, the right indicator's coming on. So now he's messing with the miles an hour thing. It's going all the way up to 220 kilometers an hour. The revometer's going all over the place. This would freak you out if you didn't know it was being done on purpose. Now it's completely disabled, engine malfunction. The fact that he can do all of this means that he could very easily just ram us straight into that wall in front of us. That experience and the experiment that we just did then is probably the first time where I've thought hacking could physically cause harm to me. How many cars in the world do you think you could do the same thing to right now?
Today, I would say that most of them are vulnerable or susceptible to hackers' attacks.
Though there aren't any cars made in Israel, the world's top auto security companies are Israeli. And they're all part of a wave of cyber innovation that's sweeping across the country.
Israel's become a world leader in cyber technology, and all of the Israeli companies who are at the forefront of that revolution are inside this building. There are over 10,000 people here from all over the world, and what many of them have come here to hear is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, laying out why this country is a global leader in the field.
A few years ago, I set the goal for Israel of becoming one of the top 5 cybersecurity powers in the world. It's a goal we have met. Today, Israel receives roughly 1/5 of the world's global private investment in cybersecurity. You're in a wonderful business. It's endless.
In fact, Israel receives more venture capital funds per person than any other country in the world, and has become known as the startup nation. To understand how Israel became a global leader in this field, we spoke with Israeli journalist and senior defense correspondent Alon Ben David.
As a very small community that is practically an island, you're completely surrounded with nations that you cannot cross to. Israel developed creativity to compensate for its lack of resources, and as a country that needs to conduct constant surveillance on the neighbors, as a country which is under constant annihilation threat by other nations, Israel understood many years ago that going into wars and launching massive military operations, it bears almost unbearable prices. First in human lives, in terms of economic costs, in terms of international legitimacy. So cyber was the right answer for many things that Israel needed to do.
Do you think Israel's private cybersecurity industry is essentially the child of the Israeli military's affairs?
Oh, absolutely. The whole of the Israeli cyber industry relies on knowledge gathered by people serving in Israel's different security agencies and the military.
Military service is mandatory for most Israeli citizens, and one of the largest parts of the Israeli Defense Force is its cyber and intelligence units. These entire units, and some 20,000 cyber soldiers, are now being relocated to BEERSHEBA, a desert city which is quickly becoming Israel's Silicon Valley. This military-industrial cyber complex is said to be the largest infrastructure project in Israel's history. We spoke with the CEO behind this $5 billion undertaking, Ronnie Zahavi.
What's the significance of the military being a part of all of this?
Because going to the service is compulsory, you can look at the Israeli army as the largest HR organization in the world. Because practically speaking, they start scanning the layers of the Israeli population and position the right people in the right places, especially in elite units. So if you think about it, you take somebody who is 18 years of age and you get them exposed to the state-of-the-art technology, to the highly advanced paradigms and methodologies. So when they go out of the service at the age of 23, 24, from an IBM point of view, or from EMC point of view, or from Intel point of view, somebody has already conducted the screening and already selected the best they can get in that sense.
But the initial screening and recruitment process for the IDF's most elite cyber units actually begins much earlier. In 2013, the Ministry of Defense helped create a national program for high school students interested in learning more about the realm of cyber. These after-school classes have become unofficial feeder programs for the IDF cyber units. We met with a recruiter for one of those units, C4I. We could not reveal her identity because of a security clearance.
מועמד אידיאלי, מישהו שאני מחפשת, בן נוער, בת נוער, עם קוגניציה ברמה גבוהה משאר בני הנוער שיש במדינה. ילדים שהאופי שלהם מספיק חזק בשביל להתמודד עם אתגרים טכנולוגיים במימד הסייבר, וככה אנחנו מניחים את ידינו לטובים ביותר ומביאים אותם למיון.
I know that all of the branches are different, but there does seem to be some that stick out in the hierarchy. So, for example, 8200 has...
תחילת על 8200.
For decades, Unit H200 was a closely guarded secret, partially because this elite cyber and intelligence division doesn't just provide defense. In fact, they're responsible for one of the most aggressive cyber attacks in history. Stuxnet, a cyber attack that sabotaged the Iranian nuclear program by destroying centrifuges at the NATANZ nuclear facility, is widely believed to be a joint operation of Unit 8200 and the NSA. And in 2014, 43 former members of 8200 wrote an open letter to the Prime Minister, refusing to serve because of the unit's widespread use of surveillance. We met with one of the soldiers who signed the letter.
Israeli intelligence is everywhere, literally everywhere in the Palestinian territories. Doesn't matter whether they're suspect of something or not, whether they're political activists or whatever, no one's off limits.
What's wrong with that? If you're at war with another people and you've got complete surveillance, that sounds like quite an advantage.
The problem is when it goes beyond plain security. If someone's about to do an attack in Tel Aviv, then I could see why we'd want to know where he is or where he's going. But if you've got his brother, his sister, his cousin's friends, all of them tapped as well, then that's where it clearly crosses the line. If you find out that someone might be having an affair, someone is gay, when you come across that information, instead of it being put away as irrelevant, it's something that you would send forward and it would be used.
If someone's cheating on their wife and Unit 8200 have discovered this, what's the benefit of having that information?
Israel can approach them and get them to cooperate one way or another, be it get some information, go photograph some places, and what they get out of it is their secret is not being revealed.
It's blackmail.
Yeah, you can call it blackmail.
Despite its shadowy reputation, one thing is clear. The skills and methods these soldiers learn in H200 are extremely profitable on the free market. These veterans have gone on to create tech startups worth billions of dollars, and the most prestigious tech companies actively recruit former H200 members. Sharon Nemirovsky served in one of the IDF's technological units before founding a company called White Hat Limited. Companies hire his team to attack their systems, to assess and then fix any weaknesses.
So at the moment, around this table, your colleagues here are actually attacking
They're
a company.
actually attacking a company. These days, it only takes an email to control you. I can send you a PDF file, and when he opens it, he gets a hostile file installed on his computer. After he gets it, everything he strokes on his keyboard is being transferred to the internet. Every password, every credit card number, every email you send. Now, what do you do with that data after you collect it? You sell it. You sell it on the darknet. Everything you just want to know, you can buy here. Business profiles, social security numbers of the employees, date of birth. Bronx Hospital in New York, they stole 34,000 patient records. Healthcare will be the most profitable information today.
What's this?
That's an email from Senator McCain.
John McCain's emails floating around the darknet.
While the origin of Senator McCain's emails remains uncertain, the power of hacked emails and data breaches became abundantly clear during the 2016 election.
President Obama blaming Russia for interfering in the U.S. elections.
Beyond the risks of data breaches and hacker markets, potential threats to critical infrastructure, including physical facilities, are also becoming indisputable. We met up with Barak Perelman, an 8200 vet and founder of Indergy, a startup that builds cybersecurity networks for industrial facilities that could be vulnerable to hacks.
What happened in the last decade or so was the interconnectivity between these systems. I want access anytime, anywhere, to any place.
Quite convenient, in theory.
Convenient for the operators and making it more convenient for the hackers. The type of control systems that essentially manage the pumps and the valves in all of this facility were designed 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They are very easily penetrable, very easy to disable them, very easy to manipulate them.
Could you do that?
So the short answer is yes.
Barak hacked into the reservoir systems to show us how dangerous a simple piece of malware can be. First, he shut down the valves which drain the sewage. Simultaneously, he manipulated the system's display to indicate that everything was operating normally.
There's not a big red sign saying, alert, you've been hacked.
Exactly.
The eventual result of this would be the reservoirs filling up and having a toxic overflow.
This is theoretical. Can you give me an example of where this has happened in the real world?
So I like to refute the fact that it's theoretical, because as recent as a few months ago, in the Ukraine power grid that was being shut down, industrial control systems got hacked. A few years ago, we had reporting by the German government that a furnace was being blown up in a steel mill due to a cyber attack. It's the same industrial control system. If I hacked one of them, I can hack presumably all the others as well. This is, without exaggeration, the life-threatening attacks. If I hack into a pharmaceutical plant and I change the composure of the drugs, if I hack into an oil rig and cause an oil spill, if I create too much pressure in oil pipelines, all of these is no longer data and privacy issues. It starts to be safety and life-threatening situations. I have zero doubt in my mind that currently critical infrastructures in the Western world already have malwares inside, just ready for someone to press that red button and shut off a power grid.
The weapons are loaded, essentially.
I think so. That's exactly the definition I would use.
While cybersecurity companies become more and more in demand, the crippling potential of cyber warfare only continues to grow.
What we're talking about here is a total revolution of the whole concept of war. It changes everything we thought about war and how it's being conducted and what are the rules and who is the enemy and can you recognize the enemy at all. Many countries have very dangerous cyber tools. Some are using it viciously, like the Russians, like the Chinese, and are not shy of using them against other countries. We all understand the vulnerabilities of critical infrastructure, and we all understand the vulnerabilities of privacy. But what troubles me is the ability to affect the mindset of masses, the mindset of a public. The Russians were manipulating American public mindset. That's scary. And that, I suspect, would eventually undermine most of Western democracies in the coming decade. I fear that the good 70 years post-World War II of prospering democracies in the Western world and prosperity, economic prosperity, are over.